Welcome back to Kung Fu Maintenance, where I show you how to make the most likely repairs you'll need to make in your lifetime. If you'd like to get the latest videos, subscribe and then hit the little bell icon right at the subscribe button, and it'll notify you of any new videos when they're released for you. Welcome back to Kung Fu Maintenance. Well, had a major leak, which doesn't look so bad now, as I had the water turned off to be able to dig it out and get to it and locate it. Without the water on, just a leftover pressure of water from a bunch of buildings going to the deal, and needed to get the water back on as soon as possible. And this can be a good temporary solution so you can obtain parts or do what you need to do. Here, the coupling, it's on a 4-inch PVC coupling, and it's right underneath a stairway, and just a rough situation all around. And at the time, didn't want to risk the cutting the line and redoing it, which is the better way to do this. But this was, again, I'm just showing a temporary fast solution. This is a 4-inch line. I dripped some silicone lube onto around the repair, and then I'm wrapping it with this silicone fuse tape. And there's some applications for plumbing where, such as a saddle tapping valve or a chlorine feeder for a swimming pool. That's usually on a 2-inch line. It's done above ground, and it uses swimming pool clamps. A hole is drilled into the PVC, and then a little part is protruded into the plumbing that has a gasket around it, and then the clamp goes around that and pushes the gasket into the PVC, and a little bit of silicone lube is used on the gasket before it's pushed into the PVC, and then that holds, and of course it runs under the pump pressure, which is pretty, fairly high pressure, probably not as high as this 4-inch line. So anyway, I needed to make this temporary repair, so that parts can be obtained and the water can get back on as fast as possible. And this one was able to do the repair in about a half hour, so less of a disturbance to people, but still a disturbance. This isn't something that should be done as a permanent repair. For something like this, this is a temporary repair to obtain parts. I'm curious how long this would last. Could be 2 days, could be 2 weeks, could be 10 years. You really don't know. It just depends on the severity of the leak. Now, this was leaking a lot of water, which unfortunately I didn't record in the video and show in the video. There actually was letting a lot of water past it, too much to just leave it alone. Had to be dealt with right away. But again, this is a good, you might say it's a Band-Aid fix. I don't know. It's more of a cast fix as it's being wrapped around. And then what I did is took 3 of those swimming pool clamps for chlorinators that I was mentioning. It's a stainless steel clamp, and put the 3 clamps together so that I could stretch all the way around the deal. The self-fusing tape actually kind of grabs onto itself and does kind of seal itself. The clamp is an extra, hold it in place and keep it from going anywhere measure. Technically, it's supposed to seal itself, the silicone, but this is just, I don't want to take any chances. It actually cut off the flow of the water. Now this is without pressure, but I added the clamps anyway to kind of a little extra insurance. And this one looked like just a crack right in the center of the deal. It didn't seem that there's much putting pressure on the pipe. Could have been trees. Palm trees are really known for doing this kind of thing where they'll spread out fatter before they shoot up, and sometimes they'll exert quite a bit of pressure on plumbing. Trees are, notorious for doing damage to plumbing. They do crazy things. So. But anyway, made sure the repair spot was real clean first, and then dripped some of the silicone lube all around the place where the crack was, and then using the clamp. I'm not going to over tighten the clamp on this one, just tightening the clamp as a measure to keep the silicone from possibly unwrapping. Again, it's kind of designed to stick to itself, so it usually doesn't unwrap. But so here I kind of had to rotate the clamps as I had run out of room, and I needed to tighten one of the other clamps to tighten it up better. A little scary, but got to do what you got to do. And my thought here was to tighten it mostly from a portion that was on the opposite side, so that the band of the clamp would really pull against the specific portion where the crack was. So that was kind of my thought process. And another application where this is kind of done is with saddle tapping valves. Saddle tapping valves have like a self-piercing needle. There's a gasket around the needle, there's a gasket around the needle, and then you tighten it down, and it clamps the gasket around the pipe, and then the needle is inserted through the center of the gasket material. It's the time of testing. Those are a long-term installation, the saddle tapping valve. It's definitely usually not done on a pipe this big. But anyway, here I'm getting the water turned back on and testing it out. This was a main line. It's a 4-inch main line, and it actually wasn't too deep. Maybe 3 feet, if that, and wouldn't be too hard to get to again if I need to. Put a plant pretty much right on top of it so no one steps on that area. Again, normally I wouldn't bury something like this. I would, go ahead and fix it the right way, replace the coupling.
Like a balloon.
But there was a couple sensitive situations. This is right underneath a walkway that I definitely needed, or a stairway that I definitely needed to stay there, and because of where it's at, it can be tricky. And in the future, if it needs to be replaced, I'll have to cut it and dig it on both sides of that walkway, stairway. It's like 3 steps, 4 steps, whatever. But at least now I'll know exactly what I need and can plan it better, notify and everything. Yeah. Well, and anyway, got the water back on, the leaks repaired, and I'm just gonna. It's not the normal way to do this, but a little experiment, see how long this is gonna last. So I wanted to protect the clamps, and so wrap some plastic around the clamps, and then some garbage bags around that, and then cable tie, strapped them in, and that's that. This looks like it may have actually been a repair done, previously. The coupling, not sure that that's original, but it could be. Could have been original too. Just got the water back on, no leaks. It's a done deal. Again, this might last 2 weeks. It might last 10 years. Who knows? Just maintenance repair, another day in the life, and there it is. Trim the excess cables, undergird the plumbing really good with the dirt to support it better, and pack that down, and then add the dirt back. Actually, the better way would be to repair it properly first, but anyway, I'm curious, what's your guess on how long this will last? The temporary repair was done today, November 15th, 2017. meantime, I can prepare some parts for the future to make it faster when needed.